Now these profile icons are extensions. Let's pop this out again. The profile icons are actually extensions from all of this information right here. And that is because every move is tracked by Tournament Indicator. And depending on how the player plays, all of these indicators contribute to that profile grid. The indicators are VPIP, which is voluntarily putting money into a pot, pre-flop raising, and that means basically how many times they raise before the flop, 3-betting and folding to 3-betting. And that's an interesting stat in that it's how many times basically somebody re-raises or folds to their re-raise, and stealing and folding. So stealing would be somebody coming in late position trying to steal the blinds. And the folding part would be how many times they fold to somebody from the blinds trying to get them out of the pot. Aggression factor is a comprised formula of your opponent's betting patterns. So the higher your opponent's aggression factor is, the more proclivity they're going to have to raising or betting post-flop. C-betting is continuation betting after the flop, and folding is folding to their own C-bet. Since everyone folded to me, I don't really want to let this pass by. I've got enough hope in this flop to C-bet here. So this bet is going to add to my C-bet percentage. Now you'll also see that since I am in the hand, Tournament Indicator is giving me my outs. I have 8 outs, 4 kings and 4 eights. So now since he gave me this free card at the end, which that's what happens when you flat call. So I'm going to flat call too. So he's probably got something, meaning I could expect a bet here coming right now. I am going to fold if he bets. All right, so pretty good bet here from the guy, and from what I could see right now, he does, he has a pretty normal aggression factor. It looks like a value bet. I'm just going to drop it. I got nothing. It's pretty early in the tournament, so even though I do have some information on him, I don't really want to risk my early chips, sort of half guessing what kind of profile this player has. So let's go back to the profile grid. Went to showdown and went to showdown winning percentage. This is an indication of how many times a player is willing to go to the river and if he goes there with some good cards. So that could help you later on in basically saying, does this player know what he's doing? That's what I like about went to showdown winning percentage. If he knows the real strength of his hand, that's what that stat is for. Your net. A net gain or net loss is how many chips you've lost in the last set amount of hands. And this is kind of important in tournaments because if you go through a swing of losing some chips or gaining some chips, then that can affect your style of play. Let me get right back to that. We'll look at this hand here because I have pocket tens, which are definitely raisable. So again, I'll do my 2.5. I'm happy that I'm first in the pot and only the big blind to go here. He folds standard. Now getting back to the net. In tournaments, if you've just got dinged, maybe 2 or 3 hands in a row, and you've lost more than half your stack, a lot of players, especially new players, they just get frazzled by that. And if you have a look at the player's net loss over the last few minutes, and then all of a sudden he's shoving all in, that is an indicator that he might not have the most strongest hand. Let's go back to the tools. We'll go back to settings again. The panel will come up, and I'll just show you that the last number of hands will be calculated for player's stack change. So that amount in the net column tracks how much change has happened in the last 10 hands. You can change that, but keep in mind, in tournaments, it's all about what has happened lately because emotion sinks into players' games and a lot of people can't adjust to that. Now we can see since I lost a hand recently, my net was minus 180. This streak column is also sort of coincidental with the net too, and that tells you how many hands in a row players have not participated or have lost money. So if you see somebody here who's been out of action, so let's just say Jenna Tilts over here that I've highlighted, she's lost money her last 5 hands, but that just could be from blinds, and she basically hasn't done anything in 30 hands. She hasn't won anything in 30 hands. Early in the tournament, that doesn't mean anything. Late in the tournament, you're probably short stacked and you're just, inexperienced, you don't know what to do, and you're just like waiting for a hand to play. In the early stages of a tournament, that probably just means they're, very tight book style player. I'm going to raise a bit more here because I do have a limper, so I'd like to isolate my ace king against this player. And we've been in a few hands with him. The software has already labeled him a gambler. I'm going to try and bet, see if he'll fold. He did.